song.
Okay. There it goes.
Yes, it's now live. We don't have our intro music, so we just steal music today, straight up. It's the all season. I don't own this music.
Yeah, you gotta make that statement that you don't own it.
That's cool, right? It sounds cool. I don't know. Maybe if we had some cool music like that, our intro would be really like, I don't know, some really strong songs. Somebody send me a demo tape that doesn't cost me $1 million to play the songs, and hey, we may use your stuff if it gets the people hyped. Dream Show Live, 10:49. We're at a remote location we can't disclose. It's a holiday edition, so timing and making sure everything was updated on the road is took a little more time than we needed to take, but whatever. Got my liquid death water here.
Tasty.
The finest mountain water. Just murdered my thirst. Just it's dead now, all of it. Yeah, in my new undisclosed location office. How you doing, Isaac? You're somewhere far away too, right?
Yeah, we're off in the desert. Me and South Dakota Chris took the trip for Thanksgiving out here to visit Tori and visited all the 10th planets. So we're
All of
hanging
them.
out in Scottsdale. All of them. We hit all of
They've been to 140 schools in 1 week.
them. That's basically it.
It's been crazy. No, that's cool, man. How's that been going for you guys on the road like that?
It's been cool. I mean, the whole reason that I ended up training with you is because I do a lot of traveling to train, and Chris had hit me up a while ago about wanting to go and visit places and kind of learn what that was like and see what that's like. Because in our community, we train amongst each other a lot, but there still hadn't been a ton of cross training. So it's been really fun to do that and kind of get to know people, see things outside the system, see stuff that you have that works, that doesn't work. And then get to just get different feels and different looks that you wouldn't normally get just sitting in your own, playing in a normal room.
Yeah, man, that's cool. It's always good to go out there and get those different looks, different coaches, even different takes on some of the same things. Maybe this person's game is a little bit similar to yours or whatever. Hey, what's up, Tiago? Maybe their game's a little bit built similarly to yours, or their philosophy maybe similar to how you play your game. And so going out and getting coaching and other looks from other people that are in the system, but maybe have a different point of view than I do or whoever, could be pretty beneficial for you guys. Again, like I said, based on your particular games and stuff like that. Maybe like that joke, you just need to hear the same thing I said from somebody else sometimes, and that'll confirm what's going on a lot of times. So I'm excited that you guys are going out there and getting to experience all these people and all the different training and stuff. We're actually going to link up this weekend out in Southern California, hit a couple of spots out there. We got the team duels going on Saturday night and a annual business meeting called the Eclipse that we're going to. Excuse me. So that'll be fun to go out there. We're going to leave Friday morning, go travel and train Friday, and then hang out Saturday and just bounce right back early Sunday morning. That should still be fun. So you guys are going to drive in from Arizona Friday?
Either then or I don't know. We're kind of playing it loose. They were laughing. We were talking to I'm gonna mess his name up. Church, right? From Jacksonville. We were standing there. Me and Chris were talking about our next plan. It's I don't know, what time does their practice start? Well, we'll leave about 1. We'll get there. We'll take a nap in the parking lot about 4 or 5, and then we'll be at practice. So I don't know. We're probably headed over there in the next few days. So we'll find you somewhere in Southern California.
Y'all are going to Albuquerque, right? Or is that still on the table?
I think that's on the table on the way back.
That's the other way.
Yeah, that's the other direction.
That's what I thought. I'm confused. Yeah, geography has been
21 days. 21 days geography.
That's what I was thinking, because when I came up, I think the last place I stayed when I was driving across one time was Arizona, and then I drove into San Diego and stuff from there. Woke up early and still got there pretty early in the day and had time to knock the rust off a little bit before training, because training will be at 6:30 if that's at San Diego. So give you a little bit of 6:30 there is 9:30 for us. So, I will have already went to sleep and woke up by that point.
Time travel.
Yeah, you know how it is. Um, I wish we could time travel. We got to get these holograms and stuff working, my VR set, and project everything out
Yeah, we
there.
got to get you on the VR ticket. I know that Brandon's been talking a lot about that.
Yeah, I haven't even really messed with them that much, man. I get like motion sickness on a lot of those things now if it's one of those really intense VR
Yeah.
things, I guess. And that's the only real way I've ever played with one. So maybe going into some other things that won't shake up my brain so hard, uh, can dabble and play with it a little bit. But it's definitely interesting to think about all that kind of stuff and where the internet itself is going with all the crypto and where Facebook changed its name to Meta and all that kind of stuff. Like, what does this mean for everything else that we're doing? Um, so yeah, it's cool. We're thinking about a lot of opportunities along that way. But again, I know nothing about it, so just thinking about it, uh, it's really like the possibilities are endless. People talking about all these NFTs and stuff like that. How could that translate over into the new digital world that people are going to operate in? Where now everything's on Instagram and stuff like that. It's kind of easy for everybody to get access to it and have it and take it and copy it or whatever. But what does it mean now that people could make like legit what we would call original kind of art pieces on the internet, and then it would carry value instead of just like copying a meme. Everybody has that meme now in their file folders or whatever. So it's pretty cool to think about the future of all that kind of stuff and what that means for, like I said, for us as jujitsu and martial arts like people, but then also like with tournaments and classes and it's just the possibilities of all that kind of stuff are endless, man. So that's definitely pretty exciting. But I just got to get over that fear, I guess, of the motion sickness stuff and just only pick the really chill
The
game.
the technology had to do some catch up. Like that's the I've been playing with it for the last couple months, but the first time I put one on was like 7 or 8 years ago, and it was still kind of like herky jerky. They've just now gotten past that point where like you don't feel like you're getting kind of jerked around a world. Like you can kind of fluidly almost forget you're inside of it. So it's kind of cool what they're doing. And Keelan's been playing with those cameras. I know you got one of those cameras. That's doing the 360 the filming of some of the stuff, so like that's really interesting to kind of see what the guys are doing with it.
Yeah, I got that earlier in this week, and have recorded a couple of things with it. I don't even know, like we tried to upload some to you and it didn't even, I don't know if it took or not. Having to figure out, like, literally know nothing about it except for that I thought it was cool, and I wanted to have one to play with myself, for here and some of the things we do in Costa Rica, because that's what it is. A lot of the kind of immersive idea of it is what's the most interesting part. How you
Right.
can maybe look around and see different parts of everything from different angles, and you can almost feel like you're there. So yes, I'm really excited. I'm gonna have to pop and get one for sure, to just to play with it or whatever, and make sure that I don't get sucked into it as a new addiction or whatever. Because I like games and stuff. I will play way too much and get in trouble for being up at midnight or 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden I gotta be back awake at 5 o'clock to teach class and stuff. So that's another like thing, just making sure that I can control myself with this new power that I may get with this thing. It's kind of exciting, but you definitely don't want to be left behind, uh, where everybody else is kind of going. It's kind of like when the internet first started, in a way, the people who didn't know anything to the people who were already like playing with it a while uh, before it blew up. You know what I mean? So I think
Well,
that's pretty cool.
and that's what's crazy about the way that we've always shared information as a community has been like, the sharing DVDs, sharing books or different information or different ways that we've gotten it across. Like this really seems like kind of the next way that we're going to be able, because some of the frustrations of film work are doing things in the way that you just like watch it on a screen. Well, maybe I can't like look up underneath or bend or like look around to see the way that he has his hands done or whatnot. And I think that we're really, really, really close to that being the way that we can relay our information in the way that we train to each other. So I think it's going to be fascinating what it does.
No, I think definitely you can see already, or at least some of the things that I've thought about with it is like kind of like you just mentioned, is like a true point of view, like where you can really look, and it's like from that point of view, you can look left, right, up, down, all around everything, instead of just being fixed into this one frame the whole time and having to pan everything around somehow. So yeah, that's definitely cool. I'm really, really I'm curious about the editing of it. I don't know anything about much editing for the regular style of flat videos and stuff, but seeing like some of the tutorials and stuff that I've been looking through, and it's like, wow, you can like spin this thing during the video and then like keep it. I don't know. It's like a drone, but it's not a drone. So
Making shot selection so hard. Like that's like when you're filming like in just regular like 2D, like what's going to end up flat on a screen. That's like that's the skill set of being a filmmaker. Well, now it's like having 1,000 little filmmakers in your pocket because they're all shooting at the same time, and then you can just be a really good editor on the other side and be like, oh, this is a better shot than that shot. It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, I think it's super interesting. Like I said, makes me want to go get a snowboard and start doing some snowboarding and stuff.
The dream show from the mountaintop. Hey man,
Dream
you can
show
come on a traveling
iceberg,
trip.
baby. What's up? El Jefe skis. I don't know.
I'm a bigger fan of the one board. I don't know about the skis. I've never been that great at the two skis. I'm more of a
Man,
snowboarder.
yeah, I've never been good at either one of them. I've never tried to snowboard or ski, to be honest with you. I've never tried a one wheel skateboard, and we didn't have paved places a lot of times where I was. And then by the time I wanted to try it, I fell really hard, and I was like, nah, not for your guy. I need four wheels usually. You know, it keeps me a little bit more balanced. So,
Skateboards have four wheels.
oh man, you got me with that one, huh? I need like four skateboards.
But you need like real, like you need stability. Okay, I get it.
That's true. That was a good. I set myself up for that one, didn't I? Yeah, I need something with some big wheels. How about that?
Yeah, okay. Stability, like it's more about the thickness, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, it's not about the size; it's the weight, right?
I think that's a callback. I think that's a joke. Yeah.
Season 1, check it out. No, definitely.
Speaking of which,
what?
oh, I was gonna use that as a transition, but since we're not used to this, so I was gonna segue to like, what have you thought about the Dream Show so far for season 2?
It's been pretty cool, man. It's interesting to see, like I said, the playback of what it looked like to everyone else, maybe a little bit from being there, because I was so into getting everything taken care of and making sure all these kind of things were done. It's definitely been funny. There's been lots of like humorous moments, which we knew was going to happen based on a lot of people that were there. Obviously, the instructional part of it is really, really good. I think anybody that was watching it definitely gets some solid tips on from both of the instruction parts of it that's kind of came out so far. So that's been great, and I think you left us pretty good hanging on this last one going into the surfing thing, because I was ready, man. I was geared up. I was like, all right, here we go, the surfing. Let's see what this looks like, and then got to stay tuned for next Friday. And it's like, oh, because I haven't even seen it yet, you know. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely definitely excited for it week to week, and I think it's very entertaining for me. I think I like the 30 minutes or so window that we've been hitting more with this one. Last time with some of the PGF stuff, it was easy to get so long because we had so much content and different things that we wanted to be able to talk about, you know. And I think you're doing a good job of cutting to some like the best parts of it this time, and we don't have to tell so much of the story like we thought we needed to with the PGF because we had so much of a story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's opened up. I think it's interesting to go back, even me that was watching it, firsthand through the lens. Like there's things that I come across and I'm like, I don't even remember that happening. And I was the one filming.
Yeah. Oh, and that one time I was filming, I guess that was on that little clip. I was like, oh yeah, I did that. That's funny. I didn't know where that came from, but caught me. I laughed at that too. That got me. I don't know if nobody else may have thought that part was so funny. They may not have realized that I was now holding the camera. Oh, Chris Presler's in the universe, the multiverse. It's like Inception,
Multiverse. Oh,
the multi-universe.
the multiverse, the metaverse, if you will.
Is that South Dakota Chris?
Yes.
The desert Chris?
Yeah, Chris has been wandering through the desert.
40 days and 40 nights.
That we've learned so much out here.
Chapter delivered to HQ this weekend. All right. But yeah, dude. So just super good stuff off of that. And I think it's helping lead into good things for my voice is breaking off. For next year's camp. We've already got I think we've already confirmed 16 of the spots.
Nice.
40 or so that we're gonna do total. And more and more people are getting interested every time that like we post something. We've only announced one of the other coaches. It's Kendall Roosing, who won ADCC trials in the female bracket, and then she's won multiple times at World IBJJF Worlds at different color belts and black belt at no gi. Her dad was one of my instructors for a long time, and he actually promoted me from white to brown every time I got a new belt. He was the guy that actually promoted me until I got my black belt from Boogie. So they're friends of the family. I remember, she was a kid training and stuff like that, and just watching her grow up to be such a great athlete and good instructor and teacher and stuff like that. It's going to be cool to have the opportunity to have her down there and teaching and get to learn from someone else, that's not necessarily somebody that's in the system, but somebody that's out there at the top of the game, really putting in a lot of work, trying to be the best, so we're really excited to have her. And then the other people that we have, man, I'm not even going to announce them until we sell the few more spots out, like we said, and then we'll announce it. And people that most of you are familiar with, if you've been watching me and hanging out for a while, you'll know these guys. There's actually going to be 2 more this time.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we're going to try to bring in 1 more black belt to do some instruction this time, and both guys are going to be amazing. One person just may have a little slight scheduling conflict, so we're going to save them for last to announce, just to be 100% sure that they're going to be able to have life work out the right way for them to get there in October. But yeah, dude, we're super excited. We like we talked about there, we got over the hump with a lot of the stuff and figuring out what to do and what not to do, and understanding the logistics of the space. And now we're into that phase of like selling this next one and trying to keep the ball rolling. I've had conversations with the guys that do it. Hero BJJ Retreats. They're in Tamarindo. They have a bunch of camps there too, and I found theirs somewhere along the way when we were thinking about doing ours and stuff. And so I reached out to them in the last week or two just to kind of just talk and pick their brain and get ideas and stuff like that. And he was very cool and very nice, and we talked a lot. And so just gonna work with them a little bit about ideas and things about what needs to be done down there, and how we can best really use the platform to do the things that we want to do, because we're talking about providing jiu-jitsu to the kids down there in the area and the space and different things like that. And I think that they have over 50 kids for sure that
I've seen a lot of pictures from Lorenzo of the mats getting use out of them.
Yeah. Lorenzo and them. I talk about these other guys. They have
Oh,
over
so this is an entirely different program.
right. Yeah. These
Okay.
are
I didn't follow that part.
trying to gain ideas and insight for our camp. They do the same thing kind of that we do, I guess. Instead of
Okay.
like with just us, they bring in somebody like every month to do a camp.
Right.
They're really like every month there's somebody coming in. I'm not trying to do all that work and do all that right now, but for them that means that they know a lot more about it. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just reach out and see if they will respond to me and talk to me, and not look at it as like again, like everything we talk about, not really like as we're competing for the same thing, but like I think we have the same goals. Why don't we talk to each other and see if we can like really serve each other and help like really do what we want to do? And so they support and have a place where at least 50 kids train like
Wow.
full time ish for free. They don't have to pay anything. The kids don't, to train, and it's through the camps that they run. Uh, they fund all of that through that. And that's part of what we want to be able to do too. But obviously, that's going to take a long time to be able to build up to those kind of things. So I wanted to reach out to them and get some ideas about best practices of what to do maybe and what not to do, and who knows, we may partner with them in the future and do some like things together to really like try to blow it all up, because they seem really receptive, and I'm really not trying to take everything under control or whatever. It will be really fun to have something really popping off and growing down there in the way that we want it to. So everybody could check out Hero BJJ Retreats. They also do camps down in Costa Rica. It may fit your schedule. They may be somebody that you think's interesting going down there. But yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity going around with that kind of stuff. So we're a lot of my free time energy is kind of still leaning that way, where I'm really trying to think about what that could mean, long term, besides just, all right, we got this camp again this year, and everybody's coming to train, and then it's just done, in a week, and then everything goes in the storage, and then pull it back out, if one time a year. It's fun like that, but I want to be able to maximize, I don't know, the best parts of all of it that we can, and get it to go, as far as we can, for everybody without overextending ourselves or making like huge mistakes on it. And I guess, like you would say, try to plan this thing out in the best ways to ensure success for all parties involved. So
Right.
that's been cool to get down and talk to them a little bit.
That's cool. And to have somebody that's like in country and like kind of a little bit ahead of you a few steps, it's kind of like being the
Definitely.
purple belt, asking the brown belt, hey man, like what'd you do?
Bro, I'm barely like a blue belt or something, maybe. This dude's
Okay.
like he's got to be a black belt. They got to be black belts with the way they're doing these camps. They're hosting 50 or so people a month, easy,
Wow.
like boom, 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 like clockwork. So he's like a black belt, and I'm like maybe a blue belt at the overall process of it all. So yeah, so definitely it's always, that's what I say, it's always good to sit down and try to get advice from people if you can, that are doing the things that you want to do. If you're genuinely interested in it, and you're cool with people, a lot of times they will share with you what's going on and what they're doing or whatever, because they're typically genuinely passionate about it and they're excited about it. So yeah, so I was happy and want to continue to be able to kind of, like I said, do that and grow that, because yeah, man, it's nice. It's nice to be able to have that side of it also being something that's real, because we talk about it all. Uh, it's easy to want to go ahead and start just like, oh, let's just sell it. Let's sell, 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 sell. We got this, we got that. Let's just sell, sell, sell. But then that takes away a lot of the authenticity of it. And then that would take away the feeling that people get. And then they wouldn't want to pay for something that's not real. At least
Yeah.
that's my take on it. And so I want to make sure that we pump the brakes when we need to, and slow down and do right by whatever process that we're working through each time. So yeah, we're really gonna try to have a very, very good camp in October where things are just clicking, and then from there we'll look to do it again. And maybe just in October again. Maybe we do keep it at once a year because that's the best, most practical thing. Or maybe we can, spread the wealth around. Who knows? But we've got to be able to do the first things first. We got to make sure that we're taking care of all the things that we have to take care of before we start giving ourselves new problems to do. So that's been the thing that I've been trying to make sure that I'm doing with all the Costa Rica stuff, because I want to be able to keep doing it. Watching the show is really, like I said, just seeing the people down there having fun and stuff. I want to be able to keep doing that. I want to keep having fun like that. So the only way to do that is to make it better and stay consistently good for everybody that shows up, and then they'll keep coming back. It'll be a thing that keeps going on. So yeah, so really, really, really hyped up with the rest of the stuff that's going to come out uh, from that week. Because there's still more instruction coming. I'm sure there's good training footage, and then the surfing stuff. Like,
Oh, there's all the adventures, there's the waterfalls, everything's yet to happen as far as the like extra. We're on day 2.
yeah, and y'all barely had gotten there and stuff really good
Yeah.
on day one too, even
Yeah.
um, because of everybody's travel stuff. That's one thing that was kind of crazy too, is how much travel issues there were for people, which are out of our control. American Airlines cancels flights. I can't. Sorry, dog. That's not.
But I
But
was surprised how little too, though. Like it could have been like the whole camp could have not got there with the way the world is right now. I was impressed that
they
everybody
already
still
did
got
one
there.
time. Like, that's the thing too, man. Like, another part
Well,
of
yeah,
this is like everybody sees it now, and there's people that are like, "Oh man, this is going to be so successful because of the location and blah 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 blah." And it's like, "Nah, man, this junk was not just successful because of the location and because of blah blah blah. Because we tried a couple times. One time it didn't really work at all, and then I got to bring a couple people, and then the next year it literally got closed because of COVID and stuff like that. So it's like it's not like just if you build it they'll come. We had to like hustle the hell out of this thing to make it go off, and we're still having to work a lot to make it go off and be good. So like everybody that's just like thinking is easy and done with or whatever and trying to get on, there's still a lot of work to do. So if you want to get involved with it from the outside, man, come looking to do some work, because we got a lot of work for you to do if you want to be a part of it. But we're still just at the very beginning of that stuff. We haven't done anything yet except get there. You know what I mean? So I'm really like, I'm happy and I'm proud and I'm all those things about it, but I'm not ready to just accept that it's like a turnkey thing that's just like you said it and forget it or whatever. They're just gonna show up, because it's definitely not the case, right? It's just not
that's
gonna.
where a lot of people make mistakes in a lot of things, though, isn't it? Like they're like, "Oh, yep, all right, well, the work's done, so I'm finished," and you're like, "Actually, the work just started. You just did the work to start working."
Right, we got it exactly. We've got it started to where we can work now, where we can actually try to do something. Because last year, literally, till a month before, or where we didn't even have freaking mats there because of all the stuff going on with the travel and the shipping stuff like that. So yeah, man, that whole year, the last couple of months leading into this whole thing was just a mess of stress and like hard work and trying to figure out what we could do to keep it going, because almost didn't even happen again because of the mats issues, and we wouldn't have survived not getting the mats there on time. There's no way that if the mats didn't get there, we would have been able to continue on. So like, yeah, we did it. We did it one time, and yeah, we're gonna do it again too. But it's gonna take work every time we do it. It's not ever gonna just be where you can just go and not do anything unless you hire a bunch of people to do the work. In which case, that's still somebody doing a bunch of, it's still a bunch of work for somebody.
Well, then that takes money.
Right. And
Yeah,
so then that takes time, because we
yeah.
spent all we spent all the money getting everything set up, right? So that's the problem with that stuff, is like it's not an instant quick flip, even if it looks like whatever it looks like on the outside. There's a lot of
There
there's
is no
a
overnight success like liquid fuel. Like there is no
yeah.
magic potion that just makes it happen.
No, and I had lunch with Kirby yesterday, and we were talking about it, and He's like, dude, I'll be honest with you. He's like, if I knew what was going to happen to get to it, if I knew how much we were going to have to do, if we knew how much the mats were going to cost, we wouldn't have done it. Like if we
No.
didn't already commit to it before and like have such an investment already out, like or whatever, then we wouldn't have done it. But since we were already into it, we had to make it happen. And so now that we did, we can continue to make it happen. But there were definitely several times that it would have been easy in a lot of ways just to cut it free and just be like, nah, not really worth all this stress and all the effort or whatever that is putting into it. But for whatever reason, just really, really wanted to do it, because I really wanted to be able to go down there and do it. Like I really wanted to have all the things that we've talked about. And so yeah, so we worked our asses off and we still are, and that's how it's working. It's not because of any other reason. So hopefully anybody that's listening, if there is anybody that listens to this, if you are reaching out to me for a space, man, and any of this stuff, come do some work. Come help us work. And then you can definitely get a space involved in any of the stuff that we're doing. But you got to come help us do work. You can't just jump in this stuff. There's no way that that's how it works anymore. Uh, Everybody else has already done too much just for people to just jump in line. You know what I mean? So
It's like
so this
everybody talks about the overnight success, though. Like there is no overnight success. There is no like you don't just start
ah,
today and then like you're good tomorrow. It's like no, what you're seeing that's successful tomorrow, that was 15 years of work. Like
yeah, and relationship building and different
right.
things like that you have to still manage, and hopefully I have to be the person that I say I want to be in all my interactions. So sometimes things happen and I have to be the person. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but you have to step up and you have to do the things that you say you're going to do if you're trying to be in these positions. If you want to be El Jefe, you got to do El Jefe things. You can't just
I
be.
was I was gonna make the reference. I didn't know if you were gonna do
I wasn't, but it hit me all of a sudden.
it.
And that's the thing, is like I don't necessarily want to be like El Jefe in that way. I like
No,
the joke. I
that's
like
part of
the
the joke.
joke. That's why I
Yeah.
want to do it, because it's funny, but it's not really for all that reason either. It's not necessarily a flex for me to be able to do it. It does feel good. It makes me proud, but it's not just like, oh, look at what we did. Because again, like I said, we haven't really done anything yet. We did it one time. It's really cool, but for somebody that's always looking for more, that was just it. It's over now. That was done. Now we can't just stop though. We got to keep it going. We got to do more, not bigger, right? I'm not saying that we have to add 20 more people to this thing. I think we're already maxed out. That's what I was telling everybody at the camp last year, is that we may let 5 or 6 more people come than were there this year, but we're not going to sell more spaces to this particular week or whatever. And at this point, we've thought about cutting it even lower, uh, maybe at a certain point to keep it more personal and everything like that, because we don't need to charge that much money and we don't need to have all those people there. But if it's efficient and easy and that's the best thing to do, then sure, why not have 45 or so people instead of 25? But if that's we gotta keep working it out and figuring out which one of those is going to maximize everybody's energies to make it keep going. So yeah, it's a lot. Been getting hit up by a few people for stuff, and it's just like, hey, come do some work.
Yeah, I think that as it transitions to that, like it's more of the momentum that it's caught on is going to give you the opportunity and give the people the opportunity to kind of feel the community get the whole benefit of the hard work that you've put in. I mean, like you're saying, that's what when did this conceive? Like 3 years ago, 4 years
It's
ago?
been at least 3 or
Yeah.
4 from the first like conversations about it, but it's been 3 since I've been trying to sell it for sure.
So what has that taught you in your in the like jujitsu as a whole? Like, because you started a school the year before that, and then you did this. Like, what's your
So
takeaway as you're
I
coming
was
in?
in San Diego when I was starting this. I was still there.
Okay.
And part of this was that I didn't have my own place. Like I was in San Diego. I worked for the gym. It's great. Nothing like negative about not having my own place, except for just like I wanted to have a spot that I could do. I wanted to do something. I just wanted to maybe do a tournament, or I didn't know, but we were already doing a tournament through the gym. We already had a camp at the gym that was really dope every year in the summer, the Freaks camp that they were doing. So there was not like a thing like that there was opportunities for. But the owner, Bill, in meetings a lot of times did encourage us to try to like think outside the box of what was happening and other avenues that we could make income for ourselves and opportunities for ourselves through the martial arts or whatever. And so I was thinking, well, all these people are traveling. I'd seen camps here, camps there, these people, those people. You mentioned the BJJ Globetrotters thing, and I was like, man, we could do that. We could do that because I've been to Costa Rica, like I said, and I was thinking about it there. And they would just kind of like the first conversation was just like BSing with Kirby, just kind of like, yeah, man, this would be fun, ha ha ha. But then as it started really like being a thing, we started actually talking about it with people, and I started trying to like figure out I didn't even know what it would cost me to have people come teach. So I had to learn how to have these conversations with people that I sort of was, I don't want to say afraid of in a way, but just like didn't feel comfortable talking to in some of these situations about money and what they are worth and what they think they're worth. And then what is that worth to the camp? And like all those kind of things of figuring out value for jiu-jitsu and then value for the, just so a lot of
how have you found to navigate that value for jiu-jitsu thing? Not to cut you off, but I've been curious about that and what the like folks ahead of me are like having that conversation. Like, is it one that you're exploring currently?
For myself, still personally, yes. For me, yes. I'm definitely still like trying to figure out what that means for myself, because I would do a lot of the stuff for free.
Right.
In real life, if I could get away with it, and I don't mind doing it for not a lot of money sometimes. So there's times that it's like, and I ask for something and I know that it sounds like a lot to me, and sometimes people are like, oh yeah, definitely do that. And then some people, they can't afford that amount to do something. And so if it's like a local thing, then I can really work with you, and make it easy. If it's not, but like if I could be back home the same day or whatever, it's whatever, man. I can figure out how to make almost nothing and be happy pretty much if gas is covered. You know what I mean? If I gotta travel, then I need people to pay for my travel, and then I still need to make money. And then that starts getting expensive for people. If I have to fly, you have to pay flights, you have to pay room, you have to, pay me for my time to teach, but also like I'm gone from my family for 2 days or 3 days or whatever to do the teaching. So what is that? That's also worth something, right? So yeah, so that's definitely tough. And what I try to do is I just ask people what they want. What do you want for this week? And if they don't have a number, or if they try to get me to say the number, then I just offer them what I think we can afford to give them. And so far, everybody's been receptive to what we've said, because I haven't really overshot like my reach with anybody. You know what I mean? I haven't really like went out to somebody A that I don't know at all, and B that's like super well known and unattainable in a lot of ways. I'm staying with people that I kind of know and that I have a relationship with, and that aren't yet completely outpriced from where we are as a thing. But the first time we wanted to do it, I tried to get it going, and it just wouldn't come together. I couldn't figure out how to get people to give me money. Like I couldn't get them they wouldn't send the money for the camp. And it's like, okay,
they would sign up, but they wouldn't like pay for it.
And dude, all these people are like, we're coming, dog, we're doing it. It's like, hey, I need money. I need you to send down payments, or this amount of money so we can get mats, and we got to do what, you know what I mean? Like I need y'all to send. Nobody, literally nobody, but like 2 or 3 people had sent money, and it's like, dude, I can't I can't do this. Like
Right.
I can't have these people come for this amount of money because now I can't even pay them. I can't even pay their flights. I can't even pay my flights. So what I did was basically went by myself, paid for myself, paid, all that kind of stuff. And then the 4 or 5 people, I just taught them by myself, and ended up spending some of my own money basically just to take a trip and teach, just to make it happen, just to do it because I started it and I've been talking about it, and I didn't want to like not even do it at all once I kind of got it going, and I had to tell people, hey, this plan didn't work. It was really embarrassing. I almost didn't try to do it, that time when I almost started to refund the people that were coming, but they all seemed really excited, still to come if it was just going to be me. And so what I learned through that process was like, maybe I don't need other people to do this. I just need me. I can do it. It can
Right.
be the dream no gi camp. It doesn't have to be the some other big name person camp that I'm using to get, you know, uh, out there with it. It can be me. I can do it. I can do it with this small number of people, maybe add a couple more next year, and then that's it. I don't have to do any more. And so I learned that part of it is that it's not necessarily about hitting the home run. It's getting it done and then figuring out to what level I could be satisfied and happy and still accomplish a lot of my goals. And that's still, I guess, where I'm at with like the value of it. To me, I value it infinitely. Like my jujitsu and my martial arts, to me, I can't charge you enough, to be honest, for what it means to me. But at the same time, I realize not everybody can afford this much money at one time, or that maybe I'm not the person that markets to you for that much money or whatever. And that's fine. That's what I say. If you want to work with me, if you want to be on the team with me, if you want me to help you out or whatever, contact me, talk to me. Like I'll work for free with you a little bit. I'll talk to you for free. You don't have to pay me to always be like able to, to be cool with me and stuff like that, or to have my attention or my advice or stuff like that, uh, that's not the point. It's still not the point. So value versus what I need to do to make it is those are still it's still hard for me to tell you exactly what it's worth, because it's worth a lot more than I charge every time. I never charge enough, even if I feel like I'm overcharging to other people, because like I said, to me, it's been everything. Without jujitsu, I wouldn't have any of the things or martial arts or whatever, MMA back in the day. Without that, I wouldn't have any of the stuff I have. So I can't quantify to you how much this means or what this is for you. And so when people go to like a seminar and stuff like that, you know, if you're paying to go to a training camp, then that's one thing. If you're paying to go to like a seminar and stuff where people are teaching, you're going to get some techniques, you're going to get their ideas, and you're going to get philosophies and stuff. And, and maybe that is going to give you more than a move would ever give you, like one jujitsu move or a pass or something like that. That's all it is. But if you get a life lesson out of it that you can take with you every time, what is that worth? You know? And then think of it like this. And here's a question you can answer. I can guarantee you, Isaac, if you come to my class today, you're going to leave with one thing that you can do that you're going to be able to understand, and you're going to be able to hit it forever. You may not hit it every time on everybody because you know how that works, right? But when you leave here today, you're going to have something that you didn't understand that you do understand now, and you'll have it forever based on this one lesson. what is that one technique worth for you in dollars?
I don't know. I mean, I was sitting
Would
there
you pay
like
$1,000 for a sweep that would work forever?
that would always work
One
if you
sweep
did
that
it.
you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
really understand.
I mean, depends on how much do you value your jujitsu, I guess is what that boils down to.
And that's what I'm asking you. Is
Yeah.
that like, it's hard to say that, right? It's hard,
Yeah,
even
that's
as
what I'm
much as
saying
you
is
love jujitsu, right? Even as
yeah.
much as it's like, hell yeah, I'd pay $1,000 for that, but you're still just like, ugh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I've been a broke grappler for a long time, man. I've got a lot of
That's what I'm saying.
1099
But it
specials.
would be worth it to have that, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
would be
yeah,
worth $1,000 to have that move in your repertoire as an instructor, even right now as a
right.
coach. For me, when I get a move now that's in my backpack and I can carry it around and everywhere, now I have something else I can teach. That's a skill that I use in my career field. So it is actually valuable to go to these things and pay these other people what they're asking for their information and their knowledge. It's
Hmm,
mostly philosophy too. It can be a move, but a lot of times now I like to sit and listen to these guys talk about their process, to talk about the way
same.
they do it, why they do it this way, not necessarily exactly what they're doing, because I think that varies, based on person to person. But the why you would do this or that versus the other thing, um, that's
Context.
where you'll get most of the benefit and the value over the lifetime of something versus like an instruction on one particular movement. So I don't know. I have a hard time putting a dollar amount on the value of it, right? So that's what I say. I ask people what they want, and if it's too much, I would just have to tell them it was too much. Nobody ever did, thankfully. We've all worked out deals with each other that were agreeable on both parts. So very happy for me, very happy for them. And so going forward, that's just what we'll do, and having meetings. Again, I've talked to other people that were doing camps, and one person said that it was his dream to have Marcelo Garcia at his camp, and he asked the price. They told him the price. He couldn't afford it, and so he made it his goal over the next few camps to build his camp up big enough that he could get that much money for his camp and pay that dude and have him. So then he got Marcelo Garcia. He made it enough money to get him to come to do one seminar, and that was $10,000 at that time. So that's a lot to commit, right? We're
To
talking
one
about
person. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're committing 10,000 to one person at this thing, and so he just wanted to do it though, and he figured out a way to do it through just his desire and his passion to want to have that. So that's what you need around you in these kind of situations and in people. And then for value, you can't you can't put a value on it for the right person. The right person, it's worth everything. But for a lot of people, it's not worth anything, you know. And then Costa Rica, you're getting the environment, right? You're getting to go to this place where you can go there anyway, right? But you can't train like that there. You can't
No,
have all
yeah.
these high level people there training with you, multiple black belts, brown belts, purple belts, all that kind of stuff training there. So you're paying a little bit for that you can go there and even train. That's a little bit that's a little upcharge on your jujitsu just because of the location. But then people still have to pay to get there. So you can't upcharge so much for the location
They can't
that
get there. Yeah.
it's too expensive and they can't get there, right? So that's the thing. It's like we're like, man, we got this beautiful spot. Blah, blah, blah. We should charge $800 because it's so nice, right? And it's like, well, if you charge $800, nobody's going to come because then they still got a flight, they still got a room, blah 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 blah. So you still got to that's the hard part because it's worth $800 to me for sure, but
Yeah.
I probably couldn't afford to pay it to go.
Right.
So we got to make it affordable and valuable for everybody else, where they're going to get the most for it. But then we also are too. And since we're not looking to be like millionaires off of this in one swoop, or whatever, we're fine. We're going to make it that way, and we're going to get to keep doing them. As soon as we get greedy, and start trying to do too much and not being real with who we're supposed to be, then we're going to fail and it's not going to work and people are not going to come back anymore. So that's what we're doing. And that's what I'm going to always work out best I can to stay ahead of in all the things I do is to make sure that we're doing it with that right like intention and the authenticity of it all. Um, and just to pivot, I guess, into something else you and I mentioned a little bit, Mid-South Classic. We haven't done one in a couple months. We had Costa Rica coming up. We got PGF coming up, holidays, ADCC trials. We're in the middle of everything. So it's just been a busy time to not be able to do it. We want to do January 29th, right?
I think that was what we were talking about in that text last night or the other night.
Yeah, I think so. We're saying January 29th. We want to go purple belts up to purple belt and below. And we're going to say absolutes or heavyweights, but you can be less, right? We want 16 dudes this time, though. One bracket with 16 people, and the winner will take $2,000.
Yep.
That's kind of where we talked about last. And so I think that's what we're going to announce are we going to do you want to agree to that right now?
I agree. Yeah. We're
going to start advertising January the 29th, purple belts and below, open weight, right? Mostly for the heavyweights because y'all been hitting me up and I got a soft spot for y'all, man, but y'all better freaking show up.
Hey, they better show up and realize there's some little guys out there that'll come after them too.
That too.
Yeah.
And we're going to guarantee $2,000 if we get 16 people. $100 to buy in, $2,000 goes straight to the winner. So we'll throw that extra into the pot. I'm sure we'll pick up some sponsors. Musgrove Trial Firm, I'm sure, are going to help us out. 678-226-1994.
Look at that.
Do that in the beginning.
Just real quick.
Boom. Oh, call buddy.
Look at that.
Dang, my boy is good. That is good. So yeah, January 29th, open weight, purple belts. We want 16. We'll pay you $2,000. Hit me up. If you're watching now, go ahead and slide in. I'm gonna maybe be a little bit choosy about who we let in. We may not just let in
just anybody
that hits me up and stuff like that. So don't be upset if I put you on the wait list at first, because we want to make it like a good tournament this time. So 16 open weight, purple belts and below. Get at me. We're gonna give you for $2,000 January the 29th. That'll be post PGF season, so it'll give everybody time to have all that stuff out. Does that starts the 9th of January?
The 9th, yeah.
9th to the 15th, I think, is that week. So January is going to be jam-packed with jiu-jitsu stuff coming from us. We'll be finishing up the Dreams Show Season 2 from Costa Rica right as we get into January. And then we're going to bust y'all up, right, with some PGF stuff. Isaac's going to be in there throwing it down. Trying to chop his way through the competition. There's some good dudes in this thing. It's
lots of high-level legs.
Yeah, it's a really deep roster and a lot of leg lock players. So that's going to be interesting to see who does what because those points are going to start mattering, man. It's going to matter. And if you just leg lock everybody too early and the other guys are getting chokes, you may miss opportunities or – maybe you're hunting chokes and you miss it. I don't know.
You missed the points. Yeah, I was having that conversation with Steele last night about like watching this point system is going to be funny how it plays out with all these people because I've seen some of them play ways that like if they're hunting just the choke, well now you both come up with zero. So
yeah, and we see it happen with us. We saw it happen with us in that last season a lot of times too. The strategy sometimes would just bite you in the ass because it's not how it plays out.
May not be the best thing to play the game. Maybe you should just
there is no game to play. The game is to go out there and kill, like
and win.
You gotta kill. You get breaks if you have to too, I guess, right? But the game is to go out and kill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Like it's been interesting to think about that because like you need to be able to defend the legs to be able, not you, but everybody
in general,
the legs to get through. If that's what they're hunting for. But at the same time, if those threes aren't going to cut it. Unless everybody's just getting a bunch of threes on each other. The one guy who's getting a couple sixes when they count, you're going to find you a dark horse that's sneaking up in there on those guys who may be breaking each other back and forth a lot,
I know you have me that's in there, so I know that I have your undivided support, right? But who is
No, not at all.
that's not how that works. That's not how that works. I don't just have your love and approval as my coach. Um, so who's your who do you think is your dark horse in there? Who do you think is going to be really throwing some wrenches in some people?
Obviously, the guys. I think there's a strong contingent from the Tip Planet Atlanta guys.
Yeah,
They're going to be able to give everybody in their problem based on their game and the way that they're probably going to train specifically for this and stuff like that. But Dane is Leak, right? Is that is
that sounds
L-E-A-K?
right.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
I don't
that
have my
sounds right.
notes
I
on
don't have
that.
the list in front of me.
He won the Austin qualifier, right?
Yes.
He's one of the guys that not many of us know a lot about locally, because he's not from the area and he hasn't done much over here yet. But he showed out at that qualifier. Looked decent at ADCC trials and stuff. Trains with good guys out there and stuff. So I think that that's going to be one of the people that a lot of people may not know about, who's going to sneak in there and get some work done because he's not as known in the area, because that qualifier kind of was further in the reach than a lot of other people are used to. So I don't know that they'll be familiar with him. I'm also interested in the little Elkins, and he's a blue belt now, so he's not a white belt.
Yeah.
So the blue belt Elkins going in there, seeing what his style is going to look like in there, and if he can survive some of those initial onslaughts by some of the guys that are more jiu-jitsu based than he is, maybe. He's really lanky and long and has some weird stuff going on that I think will give people trouble too. So knowing
I think
them,
he was a weird wrestler too. Like, I mean, as
that's
far
what I'm
as
saying.
like,
Is that
yeah,
he's not traditional, but really good still and solid, and knows enough jujitsu now too that it's not just going to be like, oh, it's just a wrestler that's coming in. So the more that they're working with him, and I'm sure they've been drilling in the things that that he doesn't have as well versus a lot of these opponents, because they're solid. The ironclad guys are smart. They definitely don't want to send their baby brother out there to get smoked in front of everybody when they're out there coaching. So I'm sure they're putting in the work.
they may let him go out there and get smoked. I mean, I know the brothers they just want to watch him die. The first time I ever folded Marcus up, like I had him like pinned down and I was like holding him. I was like, man, you really feel like you've been folded up a lot. And Matt was like on the mat next to us, like probably like 5-10 feet away, and he just looks over and goes, yeah, he's been in the bottom of a lot of duffel bags.
He knows what that's like. Yeah. But that's still different though when it's the homies and it's not like in a competition setting. And
right.
When things are on the line, those boys are going to compete, and so having them all three up there being involved in that like that, it's going to be interesting. I wonder if they're going to draft him, or if he's on the team. What that would change, if that'll change it at all.
Will the brothers pass up little brother in the draft? That'll
the
be
last round draft pick. They just balls to him. So
I guess we got to take it. Oh, hey,
makes everybody better.
I'm excited about it though. I think the whole week, like they said, it's going to be like the Olympics.
It's going to be exciting, man. I'm trying to get myself prepared. I got to really get my notebook out again and go back through the videos of everybody and be ready to analyze you all in the most harsh terms possible day to day.
Oh, is that going to be your role? Or are you going to be?
No, I'm going to be nice.
You going to be color commentating?
I'm going to be doing something. I don't know. I'm not. I can't just be a jerk to you guys because I know what it's like to go out there and compete. So whatever. If you,
we can take it. You're not going to be like Egghead. And you're not going to give us the.
No, that's his role. He's got that,
that's
man.
His role.
He's got that job covered, man. He does a great job of that. I'm not even trying to step into there.
I've really enjoyed his analytical stuff.
Yeah, no, he does. He does a great job, and he spends a ton of time thinking about all those things like that. So he's been a great resource. I like reading his stuff to get what he thinks about you guys and the draft report that they did. Like they did a mock draft and everything on that. So, dude, it's gonna be fun. I don't know. This will be my first time being a part of the show. I guess I would say like that because last time I was competing or whatever. So this time trying to play the role of analyst or whatever that I'm doing, commentating. I don't know if I'm commentating or like post show stuff or whatever it is that I don't know. I'm just gonna do whatever needs to be done. I guess that's my role in life. Whatever needs to be done. This is what I'm gonna get taken care of, and then we'll go from there. So super hyped up about that, and really ready to just get everything else going. The next Mid South, this Costa Rica, the gym, keeping it growing. We're looking at potentially moving into new spaces in the next year. We're growing to a certain point where that's a possibility where we need to start looking at doing that, even if it's not like an immediate thing. We're ready to grow a little bit. So all good problems to have, just more work to be done. It's not time to put my feet up and just rest. It's time to go ahead and buckle down on a couple of things and really make sure that we're gonna get this thing established and get it going. And that's really the tournament, the school, and um, the camp stuff. Everything really just kind of we're still so new into everything, man. The school opened in June of last year, and the camp obviously this and the tournament we just started last year. So nothing is like super established and like well oiled every time. We just haven't gotten the reps on everything yet enough. So that's what we're gonna do going into 2022 is just put in more reps, man, and get better at everything that we're doing, top to bottom. So super just excited and motivated to go into the future with everything that we got going on right now. So yeah, do you got anything else?
I don't.
Cool. Want to just kind of, I guess that's it for me. Wrapping it up for the day. Produced, brought to you by Blind. I talk sometimes. Blind Lincoln Productions and Turnkey Connections Group. I need to just practice reading ads, huh?
Yeah.
Musgrove Trial Firm. Call Buddy. I got this one 678-226-1994. For death. Mountain water. Drinking water from the Alps. Hey, let me read from the can for y'all a little bit. When a group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they became hunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirst and recycling their souls. Once cracked open, no thirst is safe from liquid death. After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this brutal can of water used the severed body parts of dead thirst to build itself a flesh suit, which it used as a disguise to get a job in marketing. But Liquid Death never took the job; just murdered a bunch more thirst instead. I never read that. And
there you go.
That's it. The Dreams Are Live. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.